Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're diving into a royal story that has reignited one of the most painful questions surrounding Britain's most famous family. Is there any road left back for Prince Harry and Prince William? Reports claim that Prince Harry was not invited to his cousin Peter Phillips' wedding to Harriet Sperling, and the alleged reason has sent shockwaves through royal watchers around the world. If true, this wasn't just about a wedding guest list. It may have been a glimpse into just how deep the royal family divide has become. On June 6th, Peter Phillips, the son of Princess Anne and grandson of Queen Elizabeth II, is expected to marry Harriet Sperling in a private ceremony in England. Weddings are usually occasions for celebration, family unity, and happy memories. But before a single toast has been raised, this wedding has already become the centre of a fresh royal controversy. According to reports, Prince Harry was not invited to attend. The reason being discussed by royal insiders is both simple and heartbreaking. Prince William reportedly would not have attended if Harry were there. Whether entirely accurate or not, the story has once again highlighted the enormous distance between two brothers who were once considered inseparable. What should have been a joyful family occasion has instead become another chapter in a royal saga that refuses to end. There was a time when William and Harry were seen as the ultimate royal team. The world watched them support each other through unimaginable grief after the death of their mother, Princess Diana. Together they represented a modern future for the monarchy and appeared united in both duty and family. Yet over the years, that bond has deteriorated dramatically. Interviews, memoirs, public statements, and private disagreements have created wounds that seem increasingly difficult to heal. Reports now suggest that relatives have stopped trying to engineer reunions or force conversations between them. For many observers, the possibility that one brother's presence could prevent the other from attending a family wedding illustrates just how serious the breakdown has become. The reports surrounding the wedding point to one undeniable reality. Prince William occupies a unique position within the royal family. As heir to the throne, his comfort and participation in royal events carry enormous significance. Sources quoted in the reports suggest that organizers viewed the situation through a practical lens. If tensions between the brothers risked overshadowing the wedding, avoiding that conflict may have appeared to be the simplest solution. Supporters of William argue that his responsibilities are greater than ever as the monarchy enters a period of transition under King Charles III. They believe stability, focus, and avoiding distractions are now priorities for the institution. Whether one agrees with that reasoning or not, it reflects the difficult balancing act facing a family that also happens to be one of the world's most scrutinized institutions. For Prince Harry, stories like this reinforce a narrative that has followed him ever since he stepped back from royal duties and moved abroad with Meghan Markle. Critics argue that Harry chose a different path and cannot expect royal life to continue unchanged around him. Supporters counter that family relationships should transcend titles, positions, and palace politics. The possibility of being absent from a cousin's wedding may seem minor when compared to coronations, state occasions, royal tours, or major constitutional events. In the grand scheme of royal history, a private family wedding might appear insignificant. Yet it is often the quiet personal moments that carry the greatest emotional weight. Behind the headlines and public duties, families are built on shared experiences, birthdays, holidays, reunions, and weddings. These are the occasions where bonds are strengthened, memories are revisited, and relationships are renewed. Weddings, in particular, hold a unique place within family life. They bring together multiple generations under one roof, creating rare opportunities for relatives to reconnect. Family members who have not spoken in years often find themselves sharing stories, laughter, and memories. Old photographs are revisited, childhood experiences are remembered. For a few hours, long-standing disagreements can be put aside in favor of celebrating a new beginning. That is why the reports surrounding Prince Harry's absence have attracted so much attention. Whether intentional or simply the result of circumstances, not being present at such a significant family gathering inevitably raises questions about the current state of relationships within the royal family. It is not merely about missing a ceremony. It is about missing a moment that can never be recreated. Once the wedding is over, the photographs are taken, the speeches are delivered, and the guests return home, that particular opportunity for connection disappears forever. For many royal observers, the situation serves as another reminder of how much has changed over the past several years. There was a time when Prince Harry was a familiar and central figure at family gatherings. He stood alongside relatives during celebrations, milestones, and moments of national significance. Today, reports increasingly focus not on where he is attending, but on where he is absent. Each missed event adds another chapter to a growing narrative of separation. What makes these absences particularly significant is their cumulative effect. One missed gathering may not seem important. Two can be explained by scheduling conflicts or practical considerations. But when a pattern begins to emerge, people naturally start wondering whether the distance is becoming more entrenched. Every family event that passes without interaction reduces the number of opportunities for spontaneous conversations, unexpected reconciliations, or simple moments of shared humanity. The emotional impact extends beyond the brothers themselves. Other relatives may find themselves navigating uncomfortable realities, balancing personal loyalties while hoping to avoid becoming caught in the middle of a deeply complicated family situation. Weddings are meant to unite families, not highlight divisions. Yet, when prominent family members are absent, questions inevitably arise about what remains unsaid behind closed doors. For Prince Harry, every reported exclusion fuels fresh speculation that the gap between him and the royal family is becoming less a temporary period of estrangement and more a lasting reality. Critics argue that the consequences of past decisions are continuing to unfold. Supporters contend that reconciliation requires effort from all sides, and that family ties should not be measured by institutional roles or public disputes. Regardless of perspective, the continued focus on absence rather than reunion underscores the challenge facing everyone involved. Perhaps the most poignant aspect of the story is that time never stands still. Children grow older. Family members move through different stages of life. New marriages begin. New memories are created. And every milestone that passes without reconciliation becomes part of a history that cannot be relived. The longer the separation continues, the more difficult it may become to bridge the emotional distance that has developed over the years. And so, what might appear on the surface to be a simple wedding invitation, or the lack of one, becomes something far more symbolic. It becomes a reflection of a family still grappling with unresolved tensions, lingering hurt, and unanswered questions. In that sense, the real story is not about one wedding day. It is about whether the doors to future family reunions remain open, or whether they are slowly, quietly closing with each passing occasion. Perhaps the most overlooked people in this story are the relatives caught between the two brothers. Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling likely hoped their wedding would focus on love, commitment, and celebration. Instead, headlines have centered on who may or may not have received an invitation. Other family members face similar challenges. Every gathering, ceremony, or milestone risks becoming a story about William and Harry. Every seating arrangement becomes a topic of public analysis. Every photograph becomes evidence in a larger narrative. The royal family's private relationships now unfold under a global spotlight, making ordinary family disagreements feel like international events. That pressure undoubtedly affects everyone involved. The most important question remains unanswered. Can William and Harry ever find their way back to each other? History is filled with families who endured years of silence before eventually rebuilding relationships. Time can soften anger, create perspective, and open doors that once seemed permanently closed. Yet reconciliation requires willingness from both sides, and current reports paint a picture of a relationship still trapped by hurt, mistrust, and unresolved grievances. Perhaps one day another family occasion, a wedding, a birthday, or a future royal event, will become the setting for a different headline. A headline about forgiveness instead of division. Until then, stories like this wedding controversy serve as reminders that behind the crowns, titles, and public appearances are real people navigating complicated family relationships. As the celebrations for Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling begin, many royal watchers will be focused on the happy couple as they start a new chapter together. Yet beyond the wedding vows, the elegant setting, and the family photographs, another story lingers in the background, a story that has followed the royal family for years and shows no sign of disappearing. For many observers, the absence of Prince Harry speaks louder than any speech delivered during the ceremony. Weddings have always been occasions that bring families together, even after disagreements and periods of distance. They are moments when old wounds can begin to heal and when relatives can set aside differences for the sake of love and unity. But if reports are accurate, this wedding became another reminder of just how difficult that prospect has become within the House of Windsor. The image is striking. One brother attends a family celebration surrounded by relatives, while the other remains thousands of miles away. Years ago, such a scenario would have seemed impossible. Prince William and Prince Harry were once viewed as an unbreakable team, two brothers who had weathered tragedy together and emerged stronger because of it. Today, however, the reality appears very different. What was once one of the monarchy's greatest strengths has become one of its most painful challenges. The sadness of this story is not simply about a wedding invitation. It is about what that invitation represents. Every missed gathering, every family milestone, every occasion where one brother is present and the other is absent, adds another layer to a divide that already seems vast. Over time, distance can become habit. Silence can become normal. And reconciliation can begin to feel less like an eventual certainty and more like a fading possibility. Yet history has a way of surprising us. Families that appeared irreparably divided have found their way back to one another. Time can soften anger. New perspectives can emerge. Priorities can change. The bonds of blood and shared history often prove stronger than anyone expects. That is why, despite the reports, despite the speculation, and despite the years of tension, many people continue to hold on to hope that one day the brothers might find common ground again. For now, though, the reality remains uncertain. The wedding of Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling may be remembered not only as a joyful family celebration, but also as another poignant reminder of the royal rift that continues to captivate the world. Behind the palace walls and newspaper headlines lies a deeply human story, one of family, disappointment, loyalty, hurt, and the difficult path toward forgiveness. And that leaves us with a final question, perhaps the biggest question facing the modern royal family. Has reconciliation between William and Harry merely been postponed by time and circumstance, or has the opportunity quietly slipped away altogether? Only the future can provide the answer. Until then, every family gathering, every public appearance, and every missed opportunity will continue to fuel the mystery surrounding two brothers whose relationship may ultimately shape the next chapter of the royal story. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and join us next time as we continue exploring the stories, secrets, and drama behind the world's most famous royal family.